Welcome to the Dungeon Brew Coffee Tavern, where every cup tells a story, and every story starts with a sip. Join us on a journey of adventure, camaraderie, and of course, the finest brews, served hot and steeped in mystery. From dragons to ancient legends, we're brewing up more than just coffee. Today's tale begins in the Grand Review chamber of the Dungeon Review Gazette, where months of questions, quiet observations, and determined investigation have led to a single moment of truth. Armed with evidence gathered from the forgotten Department 42, the crew of Dungeon Brew Coffee Tavern stands before the board of directors to reveal how a system created to guide travelers gradually lost sight of its purpose. What began with one frustrated dungeon keeper has uncovered a far greater story, not of villains or conspiracies, but of small decisions, unintended consequences, and a kingdom that slowly learned to trust numbers more than experience. Now, grab your mug, settle in, and get ready for the next chapter in our brewing saga. Season 2, Episode 27, The Measure of a Story. The corridors of the Dungeon Review Gazette grew quieter as the crew followed an attendant toward the upper levels of the building. Gone were the endless queues of citizens, the constant clatter of stamps, and the ceaseless rush of pneumatic message tubes. Here, polished stone floors reflected the afternoon light streaming through tall windows, and the walls were lined with portraits of former directors who had guided the Gazette through generations of growth. Patches carried the carefully organized folder of evidence gathered from Department 42, while Java walked beside her with determined purpose. Nyved's tail flicked with barely restrained impatience. Braticus admired the architecture with genuine appreciation. Fate's Skuld moved quietly at the rear of the group, and Snooks rode comfortably on Java's shoulder, observing everything with bright curiosity.
It feels strange.
What's strange?
Everyone downstairs was moving as fast as they could. Up here, it's almost silent.
Leadership often resides above the noise it governs.
That sounds like a problem.
The attendant stopped before a pair of enormous oak doors reinforced with polished brass. Carved into the wood was the familiar emblem of 5 stars enclosed within a circular border. Unlike the banners throughout the city, however, these stars appeared worn from age rather than polished for display.
The board of directors is assembled. They are expecting you.
Thank you.
The attendant bowed respectfully before opening the doors. Beyond them stretched the Grand Review chamber. Sunlight poured through a domed glass ceiling, illuminating a vast circular room whose design balanced dignity with purpose. A massive round table occupied the center of the chamber, allowing every seat to face every other without preference or hierarchy. Shelves filled with bound volumes of historic Gazette editions surrounded the room, while maps of the kingdom hung between tall windows overlooking the capital below.
This is impressive.
It is beautifully designed.
It's still where they approve bridge reviews.
5 directors sat around the circular table. None wore crowns or ceremonial robes. Instead, each was dressed in simple but elegant attire reflecting years of public service rather than displays of authority. Their expressions ranged from welcoming curiosity to measured skepticism. At the far end of the room stood the elderly administrator from Department 42. He remained quietly near the wall, hands folded before him. He offered the group a small nod but said nothing.
Welcome. Please, join us.
The crew approached the open side of the table.
I understand you've requested this hearing following an internal investigation.
We have.
And you believe you have discovered serious concerns regarding the Gazette's review system.
We do.
One of the directors leaned forward thoughtfully.
Before we begin, understand that this Gazette has served the kingdom for generations. Travelers have found safer roads. Businesses have improved their craft. Adventurers have avoided unnecessary danger. Reviews have benefited countless people.
We don't disagree.
Several directors exchanged surprised glances.
You don't?
No. Information helps people make better decisions. That's never been the problem.
Another director folded his hands.
Then why are you here?
Because information stopped being information. It became influence.
The room grew still.
That is a significant accusation, which is why we brought evidence instead of assumptions.
She carefully placed the thick folder onto the center of the table. The sound of parchment settling against polished wood echoed softly through the chamber.
Everything in this report comes directly from your own records. Duplicate reviews, suggested rating templates, engagement directives, internal optimization reports. Every document was collected from Department 42.
Several directors instinctively looked toward the administrator. He neither nodded nor objected.
Administrator?
The documents are authentic.
I was unaware those reports still existed.
Chairwoman Alara rested one hand on the folder without opening it.
If these records are genuine, then this hearing deserves our full attention.
Snooks looked around the enormous chamber with fascination. His attention drifted from the colorful maps to the towering bookshelves before finally settling on the large circular table itself. Carefully, he reached out and patted the polished wood with one small paw. The soft tap echoed unexpectedly through the quiet room. Several of the directors smiled despite themselves.
He has a gift for reminding us that not every silence must remain solemn.
Then let us proceed. Tell us what you found.
Patches slowly opened the folder, revealing the first collection of documents. The investigation that had begun with a single frustrated dungeon keeper was finally about to be heard by the people with the authority to change the kingdom. Patches carefully arranged several documents across the polished table, placing each in a deliberate order. The directors leaned forward as copies were passed around the chamber. Some examined the pages immediately, while others studied the expressions of their fellow board members before looking down. The room remained remarkably quiet, broken only by the soft turning of parchment and the occasional scratch of a quill as notes were made in the margins.
I'd like to begin with the evidence that started our investigation. Duplicate reviews.
She slid several pages toward the center of the table.
These reviews were submitted under different names, different regions, different dates. Yet the wording is identical.
That could be coincidence.
We considered that.
She opened another ledger.
Then we found dozens more. Identical language, identical complaints, different reviewers.
That is unusual.
It's impossible.
We also discovered reviewer accounts assigned to individuals who cannot be verified. Explain. Several occupations listed in these records do not exist.
One reviewer identified themselves as a professional cave appreciator.
An admirable title.
Still not a real profession.
A few restrained chuckles passed around the table before the mood returned to seriousness.
At first, we believed someone was creating false identities. We were wrong.
Wrong how?
The identities weren't the source. They were symptoms.
She placed another report before the chairwoman.
This came from Department 42. Internal scoring templates.
Scoring templates?
Prepared evaluation language.
Before reviews were submitted?
Yes.
Director Helena frowned as she examined the document more closely.
Why would we create suggested language?
To encourage consistent reporting.
Every eye turned toward the administrator.
That was the original intention. Consistency made comparisons easier.
And that idea wasn't unreasonable. If someone says the coffee is bitter, and someone else says it's rich, context matters. Common language helps people understand each other.
Precisely.
Until consistency became conformity. These templates gradually became recommendations. Recommendations became expectations. Expectations became patterns. Then came optimization.
I remember that initiative.
So do I.
I don't think you remember all of it.
She unfolded a larger document.
Engagement optimization summary.
I don't recall approving that title.
You approved the quarterly revisions. The title changed over time.
Chairwoman Alara slowly turned several pages.
Promote highly emotional responses. Increase visibility of controversial reviews. Prioritize content-generating repeat engagement. We authorize this?
Incrementally. Each revision appeared beneficial on its own. More participation. More submissions. Greater readership.
Those were our reported outcomes?
They were.
Nobody asked what kind of participation you were encouraging.
Director Aldrin leaned back thoughtfully.
We believe we were strengthening the Gazette.
You strengthened its reach, but weakened its purpose.
Snooks watched the conversation intently, his head turning from one speaker to another. Though he understood none of the words, he clearly sensed the seriousness in every voice. He rested one paw gently on the edge of Java's arm and quietly observed. Java absent-mindedly gave the hatchling a reassuring pat without taking his eyes off the discussion.
We found one final pattern.
She opened the last ledger.
Reviews that generated thoughtful discussion received modest circulation. Reviews that provoked outrage received prominent placement.
Are you saying the system favored conflict?
I'm saying it learned that conflict attracted attention.
And attention became the measure of success.
We never instructed anyone to manipulate opinion.
No, you didn't have to. You built a system that rewarded engagement. The system simply learned what engagement looked like.
The words settled over the room with unmistakable weight. No one immediately responded. For the first time since the hearing began, none of the directors defended the Gazette. Instead, they continued reading the evidence before them in silence. The silence lingered long after the final page had been turned. The directors no longer examined the evidence with skepticism, but with growing concern. The confidence that had greeted the crew at the beginning of the hearing had softened into thoughtful reflection. Outside the tall windows, the afternoon sun had begun its slow descent, casting long beams of light across the circular table. Within the chamber, the discussion shifted away from documents and toward the people whose lives those documents had affected.
You've shown us how the system changed, now tell us why it matters.
Because people trust you.
Every eye turned toward him.
Travelers walk into my tavern because they read your Gazette. Adventurers choose their journeys because they read your Gazette. Families decide where to spend their hard-earned coin because they read your Gazette. That trust is worth more than any number printed on a page.
Surely reviews still help them make better choices.
They do. Honest ones. But when a single unfair review reaches thousands while 100 honest experiences remain buried, people stop making informed decisions. They start making fearful ones.
Nyved stepped forward before anyone could answer.
I love adventure. Real adventure. It's muddy. It's dangerous. Sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it fails. That's what makes it worth remembering.
He leaned on the edge of the table.
We found dungeons criticized for having traps. Mountains criticized for being difficult to climb. Bridges praised because the water stayed underneath them.
A few directors smiled despite themselves.
Somewhere along the way, challenge became a flaw instead of a feature. If every difficult experience earns a poor review, eventually no one will dare attempt anything difficult.
I hadn't considered that.
Information is one of civilization's greatest accomplishments. A traveler who learns from another's experience travels more wisely. A craftsman who hears honest criticism becomes more skilled. Reviews themselves are not the enemy.
Braticus folded his hands thoughtfully. Several directors nodded in agreement.
But wisdom cannot be reduced to arithmetic. A single number cannot explain courage. It cannot explain kindness. It cannot explain wonder. Without context, information becomes incomplete.
Fate Skuld quietly rose from her chair.
May I offer a thought?
Let's take a quick break to hear from our sponsors.
From a spark of an idea to a masterpiece, every dream begins where imagination meets ink on cotton colors burning bright. Coffee cups that bring your mornings to life. A dragon's fire, a creator's hand, building every vision just the way you plan. Bold designs that stand above the crowd, wear it proud, say it loud. Every line, every shade, every story something great. Nyved designs, we're bringing dreams alive with creativity and passion thrive. T-shirts, coffee cups made just for you. Every design is bold and true. Nyved designs, let your colors shine. Your imagination meets our design. From the first idea to the final line, we design what you love. Fantasy, freedom, laughter, pride. Whatever tells your story, we'll bring it to life. From dragons soaring through the midnight sky to coffee lovers reaching mountains high. Every order gets our heart and soul, crafting every detail until it's whole. Whether gifts or brands that proudly grow, we'll help your vision glow. When inspiration calls your name, we answer with creative flame. No dream too big, no idea too small. At Nyved Designs, we create them all. Nyved Designs, we're bringing dreams alive where creativity and passion thrive. T-shirts, coffee cups made just for you. Every design is bold and true. Nyved Designs, your story starts today, creating memories in our own unique way. We're dragonfly and artistic minds. Nyved Designs, we design what you love.
And now, back to our show.
May I offer a thought?
Please.
Fate slowly walked around the circular table, resting one hand lightly upon the weathered wood.
You may count the pages of a book. You may count the words upon those pages. You may count how many people have read it.
She looked toward the shelves filled with generations of bound gazettes.
None of those numbers will tell you whether the story changed someone's life. Numbers describe. Stories reveal. Wisdom requires both.
The chamber became perfectly still. Even the sounds of the city beyond the windows seemed distant. The directors reflected quietly upon her words. Chairwoman Alara finally broke the silence.
If we accept your conclusions, what would you have us do?
Don't abandon reviews. Improve them. Acquire verified visitors. Detect duplicate submissions before publication. Allow businesses and dungeon keepers to respond publicly. Show written experiences before numerical summaries. Give readers context before conclusions.
Adventure categories.
Exactly. Let readers know whether something is challenging, whether it's intended for experienced adventurers, whether puzzles require patience, whether danger is part of the design.
Don't punish a dungeon for being a dungeon.
Or coffee for tasting like coffee.
Laughter spread around the chamber, easing the tension that had weighed upon the meeting.
These changes, they preserve the Gazette while correcting its course.
They restore its original purpose.
Chairwoman Alara slowly looked around the table.
Directors, your thoughts?
We failed to notice gradual change.
We focused on reports instead of experiences.
We measured participation instead of understanding.
We can do better.
Then we shall.
She stood and folded her hands before her.
Effective immediately, Department 42's optimization directives are suspended pending review. A commission will revise the review system. Verification standards will be implemented. Contextual storytelling will accompany every published rating. Duplicate detection will become mandatory. Businesses and dungeon keepers will be granted a public right of response.
The administrator quietly smiled for the first time.
Thank you.
Chairwoman Alara looked toward Java.
One final question. If we reduce the importance of the stars, how will people decide where to go?
They'll read the story.
Java smiled warmly. The room erupted in gentle laughter. At that very moment, Snooks noticed a silver tray of honey-glazed pastries resting near the end of the table. His eyes grew wide with delight. He reached toward them eagerly, pointing one tiny claw at the nearest pastry. Everyone followed his gaze. Snooks smiled.
Sweet.
Silence filled the chamber. Java stared. Nyved's jaw dropped. Patches covered her mouth in delighted surprise. Braticus broke into broad applause. Even Fate Skuld smiled, her eyes reflecting quiet satisfaction.
Magnificent.
Every story finds its moment.
I believe that review requires no numerical score.
Warm laughter echoed through the chamber once more. Several days later, the first revised edition of the Dungeon Review Gazette appeared across the kingdom. Star ratings remained, but no longer stood alone. Every review now began with a story, followed by context, recommendations, and honest experiences from verified travelers. Dungeon keepers were invited to respond. Readers discovered not only what others thought, but why they thought it. Back at Dungeon Brew Coffee Tavern, the morning crowd gathered as a traveler entered carrying the newest Gazette beneath one arm.
Excuse me.
Yes. Welcome. How can we help you?
I read about your tavern.
You did?
The story made me want to experience it for myself.
That's the finest review we could ever ask for.
Snooks sat happily beside the counter with a honey-glazed pastry nearly as large as his head. He took another bite, looked proudly at everyone gathered around him, and grinned.
Sweet.
Laughter filled the tavern. Outside, adventures continued. Dungeons remained dangerous. Roads remained uncertain. Stories continued to be written one experience at a time. And throughout the kingdom, people slowly remembered that while numbers could measure many things, they could never measure the value of a well-lived story.
Don't forget to hit the like button.
Yeah. And maybe drop a comment. It's like getting something in the mail. Gotta love getting some mail from your friends, right?
Maybe they don't like us, Nyved. You shouldn't expect everyone to like us.
Not like us? Inconceivable. Who doesn't like a team as amazing as us? Or baby dragons at the very least.
We must let them decide. We can only play our part. And hope.
The fire is low, the mugs are empty, and tonight's tale has come to an end. But the journey is far from over. Thank you for gathering with us at Dungeon Brew Coffee Tavern, where adventure brews with every sip. Join us next time as new challenges arise, mysteries deepen, and the magic of the tavern unfolds. If you enjoyed this taste of adventure, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell so you never miss a new episode. We'll save a seat for you at the tavern. See you soon.